Hi guys, and welcome back to the Fungi Files. In today's video, we're going to be identifying clean culture, injecting some Cordyceps MSS, or multi-spore syringes, to liquid culture as well, and identify some previously inoculated Cordyceps liquid culture that I inoculated with some Agar that is contaminated. I will show you the grow dish that we initially tested that liquid culture on. That did have a lot of clean mycelium growth, but I'll show you what I've identified that makes me believe that it's contaminated. We're going to start by inoculating some clean, clear liquid culture with some Cordyceps multi-spore. Usually this is not recommended. Multi-spore is just more likely to get contaminated. These syringes are usually not clean from your vendors. I buy from Inoculate the World, and everything I've bought from them so far has been good, but let's shake up this Cordyceps. We are going to flame sterilize this outside. Let this cool down for a minute. Here we go. And we are going to put in about, I say 1 cc. That might have been a little bit over, but it'll be alright. Take that out. And I'm going to flame sterilize this tip. And we can now move this off to incubation. Now, we're going to inoculate a clean agar dish with some of this same syringe, just to go ahead and get some master cultures going before the syringe gets too old to store. And there you go, that may have been too much. Usually you only want to put like 2 drops in here. I'm going to do 2 of these. Golden. And those can go to incubate to grow out a little bit before they're stored. I'm going to sterilize the syringe needle so I can store this for future use. This is our previously inoculated Cordyceps militaris from the 3rd, from our liquid culture. We are going to take a look at this so we can identify why I believe that this is contaminated. Upon opening, and upon first appearance, this culture looks very clean. I'm going to light on for you. Looks very nice. There's no visible, but I don't know how easy it's going to be for me to identify this on the camera. On this top part of the C shape, there you go. You can kind of see it. I'll put it right in the middle of the frame. There is like a weird growth that's not mycelium. It's very like thin film right around the corner, and that's the only place that it is. That makes me think that it is some sort of bacterial contamination. Let me see if I can kind of identify where I was talking about. Right above my fingertip, right there. See if I can get another. It's just too hard for the view, but I promise I see some kind of film there. I'm gonna let this continue to grow out and see how the mycelium goes, but I do believe that it is contaminated. We'll keep incubating it to see further results. Now we are going to take a look at our potentially contaminated liquid culture, Cordyceps militaris. I inoculated this one on the 3rd. I'm going to take a sterilized syringe and withdraw some fluid, put it to an agar dish, test for contamination. I'm going to flame sterilize this needle. we have our clean agar dish and our flame sterilized and previously sterilized syringe. Orientate this. Draw. I really only need half of a cc, so I can move this. I'm going to put just a little drop in a few different corners to hopefully observe that potential contamination. I put 4 drops in there in 4 different places altogether. And with our 2 Cordyceps militaris MSS, and our Cordyceps militaris liquid culture contam, all labeled, we can move them to the incubation chamber and monitor them for the next few weeks. To start, we can take a peek at our bellow liquid culture that we inoculated on the 3rd, and we gently stir it up. You should be able to see that looks to me like pretty healthy mycelium growth. No cloudiness in the water. Really nice overall. With our lion's mane as well, it's a very clean, clear looking fluid in here. If we agitate it real quick, you can see all this clean mycelium floating through, no cloudiness to the water, and that's how we can identify that this liquid culture looks pretty clean. And without a true test, by putting it to agar, we will not be able to identify, but this looks like a very healthy liquid culture. Moving on to our Cordyceps militaris. This was inoculated on the 1st, and this has a weird film on the bottom. The liquid looks a little bit cloudy, like pond water, especially with this film growing underneath it. I'm not sure if you're able to see that. And this is the one that we tested to agar, which we can go ahead and take a look at. There's no off colors. Everything does look white in here, but the water just looks a little murky. And in our last liquid culture video, our Cordyceps militaris that we inoculated again, and likewise, it doesn't really look clean to me, but it has the same growth as the other one, and that just may be how this Cordyceps cultures out. But I'm going to take a few more samples and move those to agar to test that out. Let's get everything into the incubation station. Let me take a peek at all the beautiful cultures I have growing out, and all of my grain and liquid culture beneath. Let's go ahead and get our Cordyceps in all together. Keep those in the front so we can monitor them a little bit more easy. And get our agar plates back on top. And close it. DIY heated incubation station. And that concludes today's episode of Fungi Files, where we checked on our previously inoculated liquid culture, inoculated some new liquid culture, as well as took a peek at our agar dishes and identified some of the contamination I believe is growing there. We will be checking on the inoculated agar plates in a few weeks, maybe within a week, to hopefully identify if the cordyceps are. We will be checking on the previously inoculated agar dishes to see if the liquid culture for the Cordyceps militaris is contaminated or not, as well as check on the growth of our liquid culture to see if it grows out the same, or hopefully we can get a clean sample with multi-spore syringe. Thank you all very much for joining us though, and I really hope you enjoyed.